I had a teacher once who would always bring in like an entire thing of bananas every day. Like the whole thing, not just one individual banana, but like, the whole like whatever, the banana part thing with like the 6 bananas. I don't know. And every day he'd bring that in. By the end of the day, all the bananas would be gone. His name was Mr. Maxwell. He taught English. He taught like senior English. My senior year, I had him for English class, is what I'm saying. And he was a crazy guy. He'd eat the 6 bananas or whatever every day. He wouldn't even ever talk about it. He wouldn't explain it. He was clearly balding, but he had long hair. He was 6'7". He was very fat. He smelled bad. One day he came into school and his face was like as red as a tomato, and it never got explained. People would ask him about it. He'd say, "Mind your own fucking business." He was not messing around. He was like 60 years old when I had him as a teacher. His wife was a 4'2" tall Japanese woman who didn't speak any English, which was odd because Mr. Maxwell didn't speak any English. Mr. Maxwell didn't speak any Japanese. So like, I don't know how they talked. I guess they spoke the language of love is what they'd say, but really didn't make sense. Him being 6'7" and her being like 4 feet tall. She came into class one day and it was just crazy how much of a height differential there was. It was insane to see. One day I came to Mr. Maxwell's class late and he said, "Why are you late?" I said, there was traffic. He said, "No, there wasn't." I said, "Yes, there was." He said, "No, there was not." I said, "Yeah, there was traffic." He said, "There was no traffic." I said, "There was a lot of traffic." He said, "No traffic." I said, "How do you know?" He said, "I know everything." I said, "Well, that's pretty hard to argue with." He said, "I know." He said, "I already knew that because I know everything." And at that point, I basically just had to sit down and take it. I didn't even know if there had been traffic or not at that point. I entered that room thinking there was traffic. I left that room not certain if there was traffic. That's the honest truth. Honest to God. Kids used to try to prank him. They would put ketchup on his desk and stuff. But they'd always get caught because he had a camera on his desk. They'd get caught. They'd have a one-on-one meeting. And then after that one-on-one meeting, you could tell that they were very intimidated or something. Because after that, they paid the utmost respect. You'd ask them, you'd ask the students, you'd say, "Why are you acting so different, dude?" And they'd be like, "I can't talk about it." It was a big deal. It was a big mystery. A lot of mysteries with Mr. Maxwell. Apparently I had heard from people that he only shook hands with people he respected. So like if you were to go for a handshake and if he didn't respect you, he would literally just like say, "No, thanks," and then kind of push you away. I was always too scared. I never tried to shake his hand. He wouldn't talk to the other teachers. Other teachers would come in and talk to him and he'd say, "I'm teaching." Even though he wasn't teaching, most of the time he was just on his ass. He was just on his computer, not doing anything. He'd say, "Here's the assignment." Then he'd just let us do it. He'd just have us work. And then if we weren't working, he would get a ruler, come to our table and start smacking it on the table and go, "Get to work." But he wouldn't help anybody. Yeah, he was kind of a wild guy, Mr. Maxwell. I'm trying to think of the craziest thing he did. I guess one day he got in a fight with this guy named Brandon O'Connor. Brandon O'Connor was 6'3", good athlete, didn't take Mr. Maxwell very seriously. Probably because Mr. Maxwell was bald. So he said, in front of the whole class, he said, "Mr. Maxwell, more like Mr. Not Well, more like Mr. Lame Well." And Mr. Maxwell was like, "What?" And then, Brandon O'Connor was like, "Huh?" He was kind of mocking Mr. Maxwell. So Mr. Maxwell decided to take things into his own hands, and he just started yelling the F word. He didn't, and it didn't even make sense. It wasn't like a conversational thing. It was just like he just started yelling, "Fuck, fuck, 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 fuck." It really just kind of freaked everyone out because it went on for 5 minutes straight. 5 minutes straight of fuck, 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 fuck. Didn't make any sense. School administrators had to come in. School therapists had to come in. And Mr. Maxwell got to keep his job because he's been teaching the school. He had been teaching at the school for like 25 years at that point. So his job was pretty sad. I guess that's all I have to say about Mr. Maxwell. Crazy guy, hell of a guy. Love him, respect him. I think he's still alive. So anyway, thanks for listening.